Hello, I'm Michael Brook, and welcome to the latest instalment of No Ticket Required, the Waterman's regular online film group that meets to discuss an outstanding example of international cinema. In this case, one that managed the unprecedented feat of being Oscar nominated for Best International Feature, Best Documentary Feature, and Best Animated Feature. And although it didn't go on to win in any of those categories, that triple header alone suggests that Flea is no ordinary film. Danish director Jonas Poe Rasmussen started out as a live-action documentary maker, but ended up using animation for Flea because of the extreme delicacy of its subject matter. It was inspired by the life story of a school friend of his, a refugee known pseudonymously as Amin, who took many years to open up to Rasmussen about his traumatic past, as this involved fleeing his native Afghanistan as a young teenager in the early 1990s during the period of chaos between the Soviet Union pulling out and the Taliban cracking down. As the film reassuringly makes clear from the start, Amin ultimately ended up in Denmark, but not without several perilous moments along the way, including a period of living illegally in Russia and becoming involved with people traffickers. To complicate matters further, Amin is gay, but it's only when he ended up in Denmark that he could be in any way open about this. And even then, only up to a point. An understandably ultra-cautious Amin took many years even to agree in principle to become the subject of a film, and after conducting several interviews with him on the understanding that the project could be halted at any point, Rasmussen decided to opt for animation because he thought it was the most effective way of preserving his friend's anonymity. Because, as the film makes clear to a greater extent than I think I've ever encountered in a film about the refugee and immigration experience, Amin has been so psychologically marked by his past that even to this day, despite spending most of his life living in a notionally safe country, he has an instinctive dread of a knock on the door or an unexpected hand on his shoulder. Here's the trailer.
Prøv en lille smule længere op. Meget lidt. Så hvis du ligesom lukker øjnene nu,
ja,
og prøver at trække vejret sådan dybt ind. Hvad betyder ordet hjem for dig?
Hjem er noget, som er trygt.
Kaboul, les attaques des Moudjahidines ont repris.
Har du nogensinde fortalt din livshistorie før?
Nej. Vi skal ud. Det er nu. Jeg har vildt dårligt samvittighed, at min bror han bliver tilbage. Vi flygtede en gang menneskesmuglere. Der er nogle ting, som jeg har svært ved at ligesom snakke om. Men det er nogle ting, jeg ved, jeg skal få ind med.
Hvornår blev du egentlig sådan selv bevidst om, at du var homoseksuel?
Altså, jeg var ikke særlig gammel. Jeg var ret betaget af Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jeg kunne også godt lide Jean-Claude Van Damme, men det var af andre årsager.
Det går rundt. Og tænk tilbage. Altså, det er min fortid, og det jeg kan ikke flygte fra det, og jeg har heller ikke lyst. Jeg kan mærke, at der skal ske noget. Her starter jo min historie.
Those glowing quotes aren't in any way exaggerated. Flea received all but universal acclaim from its premiere onwards, and it's not just an intensely moving film in its own right, but it's also become horribly topical, not just because of the Afghan crisis that erupted a few months after its world premiere when Joe Biden's US pulled out of the country, just as Mikhail Gorbachev's Soviet Union had done 3 decades earlier, but of course because of the Ukrainian refugee crisis that's going on right now. In all cases, affecting people who are the tiniest imaginable pawns in what's laughably referred to as the great game between assorted superpowers. And Rasmussen constantly reminds us of this by regularly cutting to live-action news footage to set Amin's personal drama in context. It's an incredibly powerful experience, and I'll be discussing it online on Monday, April the 4th at 8 p.m. And here are the instructions for joining.